Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Krystal?
Indeed, we do. A whole lot of news breaking here and around the world. We're going to start this morning with what is going on in Ukraine. Big old disagreement between the U.S. and NATO and Zelensky about exactly what happened with that missile in Poland. So we'll break all of that down. And also some real questions for the media, for some of our NATO allies. There's a lot to dig into there. We also have continued fallout and reaction from Trump's big 2024 announcement. He is running again. Here we go. Third time around. His daughter is not going to be involved this time. That was kind of stunning.
Yes.
Matt Gaetz, one of his top allies, not showing up to the speech. On the other hand, you did have some of his people coming out and saying this is exactly what we need. He needs to, keep going, stay on message, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll bring you all of that. We also have a look inside what the Biden team's plan is to take Trump down again in 2024. They released some videos right away, and we have some more reporting on what exactly they are planning. Also, a big vote in the Senate yesterday to move forward on gay marriage. It looks like they have rounded up about 12 Republican votes to codify gay marriage at the federal level. We will tell you who and what is going to happen now. And we also have some new video coming out of Qatar where they are hosting the World Cup. Not going so well. And not a big surprise there.
Yeah, there's a lot to say on Qatar.
Indeed.
But before we get to that live show, let's go ahead and put that up there on the screen. New York City, we are coming. Town Hall in Midtown Manhattan, December 6th. We will be there, 7:30 p.m. The tickets are on sale. Link will be down in the description. Next one, the very next day, we'll be traveling to Boston at the Wilbur Theater. We've got tickets on sale for that now. Go ahead and buy those. We've got Marshall and Kyle that are going to be in the house. We've got more production value for both of these shows. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. We are kind of mixing our lessons from Atlanta and from Chicago, and I think it's going to be a really fun experience.
Absolutely.
All right, let's start with Ukraine. So lots going on. Obviously, we began our last show on Tuesday with the developing situation. So first of all, let's go chronologically. First, what came out was an anonymously sourced report by the Associated Press that, according to a U.S. official, a Russian missile had landed in Poland, very close to the Ukrainian border, killing 2 Polish civilians. Shortly after that, President Biden woke up early in Bali, attending the G20 summit, where he held a phone call with the Polish President Duda, and then also had an intelligence briefing from his staff. After that, he spoke with journalists, where he's the very first time intimated, actually, these missiles may not have come from Russia. This was the first indication of that. Let's take a listen.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia.
That was the first indication that we got from the United States that actually this may not have been fired from Russia, Krystal, and there were competing explanations of which we floated in our Tuesday show, which was it is possible that these were fired from Russia. It was also possible this was Ukrainian anti-missile defense systems that either fired and then landed inside of Russia, given that it was or inside of Poland, given that it was very close to that border. Well, furthermore, we finally got a statement from NATO, from the United States, and from Poland, all independently saying this missile came from Ukraine. It was an anti-missile defense system. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. So the NATO chief said that there was no indication that the blast in Poland was a deliberate attack. Both the Poles and the United States, with their technology, said that the missile, which hit in proximity to the Ukrainian border, was fired by Ukrainian missile defense systems. Their original suspicion, suspicion and fear was that this was either a deliberate or accidental attack there. And however, this is where things get kind of interesting. NATO, the United States, and Poland are all saying, yes, it was Ukraine, but it's not Ukraine's fault, because Russia is the one who was firing missiles. They were simply defending themselves. I think there's some logic to that. I think it's fine. But to try and originally, cast blame on Russia, which is we're going to get to in a little bit, really confused and muddied the waters and really led to an about face. And then finally, I know you have it in front of you. Let's go ahead and put it up there on the screen. This was a statement by our National Security Council on the incident and the official position of the United States on the blast in Poland.
Yeah, so I'll read this in part. They say, "We have seen nothing that contradicts President Duda's preliminary assessment this explosion was most likely the result of a Ukrainian air defense missile that unfortunately landed in Poland." They say they will continue a full investigation, then go on to say, that said, whatever the final conclusion might be, it is clear the party ultimately responsible for this tragic incident is Russia, which launched a barrage of missiles on Ukraine, specifically intended to target civilian infrastructure. Ukraine had and has every right to defend itself. So I think what's really important to say about that statement is they're going out of their way to say, listen, it might have been, it looks like it was the Ukrainian missile defense system. We don't hold you, no harm, no foul. We understand it was an accident. We're not trying to cast blame on you. We're just saying this is what happened. You have every right to defend yourself. Going out of their way to say
right,
that.
And we will get to this. Zelensky continues to deny. But here is why there's basically no reason to believe that the U.S. and Poland would not know almost immediately. There's a reason President Biden only hours after was like, we don't think that it was fired from there. Do you have any idea how many anti-ballistic missile defense systems that we have sitting in Poland right now? This was one of the original things that Putin used to gripe about. We have troops inside of Poland, which these are fully acknowledged U.S. soldiers. Poland is the waylay for NATO arms into Ukraine in the city of Lviv. If you think we don't have some of the most sophisticated missile technology known to man inside of Poland, I think you're crazy. And second, which is that I think the Poles are going to know as well because, A, we probably sold them the technology and we share intelligence on all of that. So
they've also been very hawkish.
Exactly.
So the fact that they're saying it and we're saying it and NATO is saying it, I mean, listen, it's possible that they're lying because they just don't want World War III to start, which frankly, if they are, I'm okay with that because I also don't want World War III to start. But given that you have all three of those entities all saying very unlikely this actually came from Russia, that seems the most likely actual explanation for what happened here.
I mean, yeah, look, we have no evidence or indication to say otherwise. The United States and NATO. Also, I mean, Russia is a party to this too, right? And their immediate response was, no, we didn't have anything to do with this. None of our missiles were fired into Poland. We know exactly where they landed. We were somewhat skeptical of that, or somewhat skeptical just because, I mean, they lie all the time. That being said, one of the fears that was, and why I think it was credible to be dubious on that, was one of our longtime fears is that the Russians are running out of most of their precision-guided munitions and turning towards less accurate ones. That's what's led to many of the misfires. They'll be targeting energy infrastructure and they'll accidentally hit, a playground or something like that, which is obviously horrific. And look, even targeting energy infrastructure is, a horrific act of war. But put that aside. I'm saying they have had problems hitting what they want to hit. Part of the reason why it's been so dangerous. Every single time I see Russian missiles going to the city of Lviv, I always think it's just a matter of time. I mean, what happened here is we were only 12 miles or 12 to 50 miles. I forget exactly what the exact distance was. Nobody's entirely sure on the exact coordinates of where those missiles hit. That's not that far away. I mean, we consider where these missiles are actually being launched. And also, given the fact that Ukrainians' anti-missile defense systems in there are so close to the Polish border, unfortunately, given the fact that there are no major diplomatic breakthroughs that we could speak to right now, well, it's possible this can only happen again. And it's a bit scary that it took so long, really. I mean, if we did know immediately, we should have put out that information as soon as humanly possible.
Well, I really cast a lot of blame on the AP for running with this story.
I agree.
Barely sourced, thinly sourced. I mean, we're not the AP. We don't have all the journalistic resources that they do, but we know enough to, when we were covering this, say, we don't know what actually happened.
Yep.
Here are the possible plausible scenarios. That is the responsible thing to do when you're dealing with potential, Article 5, potential confrontation between two nuclear-armed superpowers. It is so imperative that you actually wait for the facts before you just go ahead and jump to conclusions. So it was just wildly irresponsible of them to run with the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.